in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, bafethu? Ni right lapho Siphiwe Shiburi. Kunjani mngani wami?
Oh yeah. Hey, bafethu, it's hot already.
Hey,
it's hot already.
I've
been here.
It's actually hot here. Ngaphandle kuyapanda. Mangalana kuyashisa.
Hey, bafethu ngiyashisa bafethu kade ngimele i-rehearsal phakathi kweviki ngithi so rehearsal. And lento ayi-rehearsal le.
I know it's
so rehearse abantu singabhedeli abantu.
Hayi abantu mfethu angeke sikwazi ubabhedela because abantu vele bafisa kona ukuzwa ukuthi thina sifila kanjani. Yeah, so guys, today for everybody who's just tuned in, today we've got my very, very, very good friend. This one is a very, very, very good friend of mine. We've got a lot of childhood stories. Siphiwe Shiburi, I don't even know where to start. But before we get into the interview, I'll just say to everybody, please, guys, make sure that you like the page, like everything, comment, do everything, share, do everything. Azisha Njebele one way. But today is really about Siphiwe Shiburi. So mfowethu siyabonga manje ukuthi ufike bhuti.
Sure bafethu, nami ngiyajabula ukubala.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really excited. I mean, I just like to say, it's even just the platforms and Bonga Bafetu. Said Tabongi Drum Catalyst just for bringing us to be able to speak because we never get a chance to speip. That's so, and that's what it is.
Nah,
sometimes I'll holy as a
it's a topic man. Where she sees us back, yeah, and we want it to be like that with at least the man is mad. But Shiburi, how was your childhood?
My childhood growing up, I grew up I didn't know I was gonna be a musician, but somehow I had this beat in my heart that kept me excited. It was like a fire, through the things ukulela ekatlehong, as you know, Lulu Eskosana, through ama Masakaya waka 1994 between IFP and ANC. I was there. For me, now was not a problem. So that's what's contributing even into my playing. So ngikula nje ngiqala ePostoli ngiqala ukudlala kwami music ngaqala ngetrumpet.
Oh.
At the age of I think at the age of about 5, 6, because besiyesontweni ePostoli, so we need to join a brass band, And a trumpet, I think I played it for about 2 days. But now I mention it because they're important. But I played it for 2 days. Yeah, it was very heavy. I went on to the side snare drum, of which that's where I found my love in that drum, because every time Kalingoma I had a serious connection. Anyone who hits that scoop, I had to go out and go to the toilet because my smile was overwhelming. Even the room, I had to hide because lento bengiyithanda mfethu yabona. So coming, yeah. So that was basically my childhood. Ngidlale ibhola. I was a good soccer player. Actually, to come into music, I was a really good soccer player. Besengihamba ama-trial. Wafika isibali sami sizongilanda ke sithi asambe sesontweni akunamuntu odlala ama-drums la ngibamba kanjalo ke drum ngoba ngathi mengifika ngathola ukuthi lento eyi-1 isihlangene manje ziningi. You can imagine the excitement mina like ukubona nje idrum lonke liphelele. Oh man,
it was crazy.
I was so excited. Yeah, it was crazy. So mengilibona I was like, this is it, this is what I love. Ngalidlala mfethu bengidlala ibeat eyi-1 kukhona ibeat nje bangifundisa icalypso ithi tu ushaya high to ne chorus ne worship song bengidlala kanjalo mangabe 3-4 bengidlala kanjalo. You are holy my Lord, you are holy yabani ngiyephambili mfethu,
I mean, today,
Sure.
Hey. Sorry.
I'm just saying, even. Sure. And bengisho ukuthi even to encourage those abasadlala icalypso ku 3-4 guys, it's cool, as long as you still have that fire in your heart, You learn, you know, you get somebody on the way, they will teach you, no, this is a 3/4, this is the way you approach it, and the simplest way. You've got guys like Abo Lulu, you've got drum catalyst, you've got Abo Leeroy, and you know, guys that can support you, Aba Pambi, and then I'd like to say, then on the way I met Lulu. Oh God, this guy, he was so privileged. He was so But those who know Ululu from Tala, Ululu bengasebenzisa isitulo sedrum. That was him. Ube kumkamela esitulweni sasesontweni. Hey, mfethu ngizwe AK, angisho AK bengiyazi sound AK. I Ululu bekashaya AK ngesnare, but I'm talking about back then. Back then, man.
Hey, Joe, hey, you're taking me back. You're taking me back, but it's fine. Let's leave it to be that unruly. Most people don't know that. You know how we met was very interesting. Do you remember how we met?
I remember because I think that there's occasions, but I remember one occasion when we were in school, inside the school, and I think I played the piano by mistake, or you brought the drums into school.
There was no, it wasn't me. There was some white boy that brought the kids. So I think what happened was that, and I think we stand at 6, let's just cut. So we're getting there, and I get into a hall, and I think there was a jam session happening, you know. And I mean, my school is not like a musical kind of a school. It's a normal technical school. So you understand, there was a piano, obviously, because it's Kelasingam, you know, but there was no drum normally. You know, so we got there. There was a kid. Somebody brought a drum kit, and then it was a vibe. I mean, we got there, and I started seeing him playing. And I was like, how is this guy playing drums now here against Agalan? You know, and then this is how we met. You know, but I mean, just to piggyback on that story of how we met, that whole thing of us going to, you know, I think from there you started coming to my church. I started coming to your church, and we started having a lot of sleepovers. Do you remember that era?
Yeah, I remember that era. I remember waking up and going to the bathroom, and you know, the kit is here next to our bed.
Yeah.
This kit, I say Sontweni at GSM, they loved me, they trusted me with their kids. And Ululu, I don't think, because Ululu is something like a Pezul, he cannot take the kid, so I took the kid home, melancholy. Man, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night, you find Ululu is checking a pattern. We had patterns to check. You find Ululu, oh, there's my beautiful wife, welcome.
Yeah, no, so come back born. Hey.
Hallelujah. To find him. Yes, well, to find him, I check checking a pattern. You find it would be very touching, because then I realized there's a chance, and ama chances because from that era, then I started having my first professional gig, which is another thing that I like to talk about. You know, the first professional gig, I didn't know it was a gig. I just went to play, because remember, for ukudlala.
Yeah.
Hey, uthe makafika lo baba ezoletha imali, mina ukhumbule ngikeri 3 rand esikolweni.
Yeah.
Manje uzoletha 200 rand, ufika athi na imali, ufika uthenga ama-sweet.
Yo.
Ama-sweet ungibizele gating, not in front of my mom. Man, I was rich, but then my point is that was my first gig. And I hold 200 rand, and I didn't know what they're doing, because they're giving me money, and that's when I had to start understanding Gucci. This thing goes hand in hand with money, which means they felt obliged to Gucci. We cannot use this boy without giving him money. But I know Gucci abangpanga the equal amount.
Yeah, obviously.
But I appreciate it. They ninga cool. They the equal.
Yeah.
I the young bulala. But school fees, I think, but we money in school fees, maybe figure be 350. School fees, so it was that money was big, man. School fees for the whole year. So that money was big, you know. So No. I think it's one thing.
I think, Leeroy, do you have anything to say, or must I just carry on jumping on? Because hey, Tina, we can just go forever here.
Yeah, I see you guys are going on. So on your first gig, I think you mentioned they paid you for your first gig. So I think,
yes.
Was that when the bag of music hit hard? It was okay, this thing goes hand in hand with money. I should pursue it, playing it more and practicing more.
I guess I was in between. Oh, I can't hear you, Leroy.
No, it's just latency. I think we got it.
Oh, okay. Yes, I got your question, Leroy. No. This first gig actually really pumped me up, but I think psychologically, because like in Jamie Nangogwam, I was still like confused. In fact, I was confused for the I actually realized when I think I got my next gig. I realized no Logana Bogum Kholo, because he didn't tell me which Mkholo. He said to me, "Nah, Maliama Sweet." So I took him Maliama Sweet and I went back. I didn't think about Uguti. This thing could be a career. This thing could be something that I get married and I have children through Yona, this very thing, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically that's what happened. I actually it dawned on me. I think a year later or two. Yeah, much later. That's when it dawned on me. And then it actually it was something that pushed me along the way.
To work harder. Yeah, ngoba sekumsebenzi lento futhi, it's not just akusadlalwa nje phela. So, but also what I wanted to get is that do you remember who's the artist that booked you, and do you still remember the band members you played with when you got your two clip?
No, vaguely. The guy that booked me was my godfather, which is Udon Nesamori. He's a guy that actually gave me a chance. Then I was able to be with people that are playing in the church, revivals and all that. So Bogu Pratoni, he was one band member, founder band member. Actually, Benis Bukanyo was absent for that gig. That's how I know I was supposed to get more. Because I was stepping. Yeah, I was stepping.
He wasn't going to play for 200. Yeah.
And we rehearsed. Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna say this. I still want that man.
You're repossessed. But who was the band?
There was Benis Buikanyo. There was Umpumi. Umpumi was a singer. I think Umpumi Lamini, not Lamini. Pumi Twala, yes, is a singer.
Yeah.
Boguno Umpumi. But Kona hey, there's guys that Kona Mabaklangana, they big guys, but because I don't know big from small in the music.
But
they are big. They are big guys, you know. I mean, those are the guys. No, Khaukhelo was there. He was the piano player. And Bogzala Ipace, Bogzala Munumchi Tabati Ulifa, the guys are bass, but he played in a funny way because he wasn't playing. You know, you play that open string E.
Yeah.
You play the open string E, then you play there. He used to play here. That guy was the first guy. Who was the piano as I was leave.
Oh, I know he made history.
Yeah, he made history, but people don't know about that because Wasiega because he got a gig at piano as I own.
Oh,
No. Hey, I think I think seven's my family because it's Kalilana, but I'm going to you say your pela, ngoba angishima yali yaphela.
Yeah.
Wayeka ibase kodwa kulungile siyabonga.
Yeah. So I want okay, no, you can jump on Leroy.
Yeah, sorry. So jazz ingena nini manje in the picture?
Oh yeah. So jazz ne. I actually I didn't choose jazz, and I still last week I was with guys that the background there was from gospel, you know, and I was playing with them, Sise Bloemfontein, and I told them, I was like, guys, how much I love gospel because I started in the gospel, but gospel in push it away. I guess I became sensitive to noise, and when I met the brushes, they really appealed to me, you know.
Yeah.
And my concept of jazz was wrong because I thought that jazz is softer than gospel. Kanti, these things, it's not really soft. It's actually, it can be, because I do and I did sound engineering. Then you realize some frequencies you get in jazz, cymbals, because it's high frequency. Those frequencies can damage your ears, even more than the frequencies you get gospel or rock and roll, you know. So each jazz, I met a guy, he was used by a lot of people in the industry, and so well he also played like the upright bass. He introduced me to Peggy Koza and Lex Fuchani. Lex Fuchani took me under his arm. Lex Fuchani is actually the guy that took me under his arm. This one I've recorded an album with Lex Fuchani. So he took me under his arm and he loved me. He called me even on the days when we were not working. I would go to his house. He taught me patterns. He made me listen to jazz records, and I googled him and I checked. Joe Lex is a big guy, because he's in the first class, as I say, which then was called Eskawin and Natal Tech. Was it Natal Tech? I think he's the first class about Lex. So Lex were like the big guys. So for him to take me under his wing, then that's when I started jazz. And mind you, I'm still playing gospel. I still play, and each gospel is sang pusher out. Each jazz, each gospel is an 1,000. Each jazz is an 500. And nami, and then gonna pop in between. Hip hop if it's 4.5.
Yeah.
So finally, but then I really love the jazz because of the sensitivity, and the people actually really know how to explain what they are playing about transposing. And we are transposer, so he's feeling intimidated by me. But he doesn't know what I don't even know what he's doing, but I just know he's transposing. So I liked it because it's very informative. But I really love the gospel. Namanje, if I can go back to gospel, just even not to play, but to preach, because I have the word in me. God is invested. We invest in the word that he's invested. Because remember all those years, Nyaguma revival, that's Unkulunkulu deposited something into me for you. And even if it was drums, but I know there's a lot of sermons that I can actually relate. Lana, and a lot of people would say, no, that's my life. That's my life, because that's how we get it. You look at a pastor preaching or a motivational speaker and you realize, no, that's actually my life. This guy is speaking into my life. So ngizovele nje ngilo ngikhuluma mina nizongistopha nini. So yeah. So you realize a lot of people actually don't believe I can be a born again Christian and actually play jazz, because it's not done. But mina nolulu sakuluma. Atululu mina swale. I think I'm gonna do the relevant stuff. As mangphumela ngaphandle ngimamela music, ngizwa uBrenda Fassie. It appeals to me. The simplicity of drama. Ululu went on to check your Solomon Twedis, your Kwazishange, and he became friends with them. Hence Lulu is playing like how he's playing a great drama. And then so well, I said, Lulu, I want to go into the jazz. We actually had this conversation.
I remember. Life was Loras.
Yeah, I was Loras. I'm going to go into the jazz because I'm going to get information and then I had to omit the bass drum, which was difficult. When I'm playing with the guys, you have to omit the bass drum and enjoy look lala wonkama beats. You have to really be singing as opposed to playing a beat. You have to sing. And so that was me growing up, and I'm still growing up. And this is not now. I'm still talking about Uti. This is how I got into the jazz. And even the jazz now. The jazz, because I've still got this gospel thing. It's not accepting me fully. Nobody is about it. Accept it fully. Yeah. So each is greedy. Each is greedy. Each is like okay. You see, like Ayanda Sikari is one person I would look up to in jazz. He plays jazz. He plays only jazz. So the jazz yam tanda yo yam accepts. Nam yang tandi jazz, but mina this Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. And so lo Jesus ufuna ukuvela and I remember Bankuza bathi hey mfethu bokumele ukuthi wena Grahamstown bebazokunikeza igig, but because I had a gig at the Orbit and I prayed Our Father, which is an important prayer in the Christianity. I only pray that prayer actually because I do not know his plans, and you know the word of God. So I remember a good friend of ours, I wouldn't mention his name, because you prayed when you were playing. I was playing mallets and I prayed Our Father. And that's discriminative because now I'm bringing my Jesus. And and guys, I think there's that fight in this thing. Realize especially when you use the name Jesus.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with us. And I'm full of because and now because I cannot mention Jesus on stage. Now I'm just playing and I just playing. Whoever calls me, I play with them. And because I understand I have to be mindful of that person might not be a Christian. I have to be free with them and make them understand I'm not bringing my Jesus, but I'm just me. Until
yeah. Okay, but do you think that is fair? Is that fair? Because I mean, all the time, I think we go and we as a Christian, I'd support an artist who's not Christian, who maybe will talk about, beliefs in their music that, don't resonate with my beliefs, but I would go and support, whatever that they're doing because it's a gig. Yeah. So do you think then that is fair? If in your creativity, you have to then suppress who you are. And what you believe.
It's my brother Lulu. I really think it's not fair. That's my take. I think it's not fair. It oppresses. I had to learn in a long time to actually be like that. I'm going to do a gig. It's not a gospel gig. It's a jazz gig, and even if it's a jazz gig, but it doesn't require me to bring. So I had to understand there is that part about business music. It's a business. I'm doing business. So I'm bringing myself. I don't have to oppose my religion onto that client. So it took me a long time. It took me a really long time to actually differentiate Tuguti. And ukumbule, we cannot differentiate. So then now you start to do stuff like drinking, of which it's another topic, ne? But it's really it's not called for. But you didn't get enough chance. It's another topic. It's a big topic. Leo Puza, Tinabazalani say uzofika uphuze, ufika disown we are Christians, and then because we are Puza. So you have to understand what you're doing business, be there on time, and just try and deliver. Whatever lento and live there abantu ba happy. So I understand it that way. It is a business. So if you're busy gospel, I wouldn't want you to actually expect me to be a Christian, because you know why? I know a lot of people who think they are Christian, but they've already turned their backs. But I'm not the one to judge. But the person cannot mention Jesus just and be free. So that's how you see people. And he's ashamed of that. Abantu abazobukela le podcast message in the air ne bazomangala ukuthi hawu Siphiwe ikhona le site leli, because nami ngike ngafika lapho ukuthi when I'm supposed to say Jesus ngiyamfihla. Yabona? Ngiyamfihla because ngizoluza ama gigs. Yabona? Yeah. So it's a serious thing. I think getting a workshop. Sorry?
If you're going to lose gigs because of your Jesus.
Yes. You might actually lose gigs, but nobody's gonna tell you that. You have to figure it out.
Ufunde kwezakho.
Ufunde kwezakho. Ubonile ukuthi uluze ama-tasset ayi-2 baxoshile. Now, you have to realize I lost that gig because of those 2 tassets. So even I lost that gig because actually I couldn't make the rehearsal because I was at church. And we are so okay.
Sure. I like where you're taking it. I was thinking back to you know, the earlier days when we started playing, and people don't know that you're the first person. I must call I'm a paradiddle.
Yeah,
the first time we heard about there's something called paradiddle, it was P who came with this thing, and I remember very well. This we used to practice. It was me, Siphiwe Shiburi, and Siphiwe Kuboni. So we used to go to Faith Mission. Yeah, Faith Mission, like for Slogas. Yeah. I remember we're chilling there. And we get there and we start, you know, practicing because you know all the time we play this one. It's like, do you know this one? Do you know this feat? Somebody else comes in. Do you know this one? Then somebody else comes in. So I don't know. I think you had gone somewhere. I can't remember if it was a wedding or a what, but you'd gone somewhere. And what's more, you then figured out, I think you met Gwazi, or was it Benis? I can't remember who taught you.
No, it was a guy called Tsepang. Tsepang beganamathreats amakhulu. So udlala nenye iband ye-rock.
Oh, I know Tsepang. He also does movie scoring.
Yes, Tsepang wafika
ne. He plays with Blackjacks.
Yes, Blackjacks.
Okay, bro.
Utsepang knew there was a guy odlala drums eLeondale, and then I was eLeondale, so he had to find me. Oh. When he found me, I went to him. So ngizama ukumbonisa, ngambona eza ngenye into, ngabona fanele ngithule manje. Iphela diddle, ngabona ukuthi le abolulu fanele yobabonisa. This is our break. Akayiletha sibali. Uyayikhumbula?
It's our break.
That was our break, but paradiddle. And I remember that's why I thought there's so much information, because you tapatiti, patatiti, tapa. But we didn't know what we could play it. Even what I liked about you, Lulu, is that you went on and actually made it freely. Because being easy. I went on to find it. Ekolweni. Kahle lo bikhona ekolweni. But ekasi ayikho. Namanje it's rare ukuthi you find a guy okhona ukudlala ngama patterns adlale. I mean, even just the whole. I know a few guys that can play. I know Ugwazi later on he could play different like patterns, paradiddles and all that stuff. Kuma chorus, and it confuses abazalwane leyo nto leyo ukuthi pattern. Chorus, yabona.
Hey,
Cabanga.
Yeah, Leeroy, anything to say?
So I think we should move on to the fan comments and questions, so that this is our viewers are cutting.
No. Also, I think what I wanted to get, because there's the question I never really got. I needed to also know, what is the one gig that set you in motion? So what the gig? Everything just opened up for you.
Okay, the one gig this was way later. So the one gig, because then there was gigs like I went on to play with Siphiwe Dana, played with her for quite a while, but that was not much, because remember, I was advised to go to Dala no Siphiwe. It's even much better for you because you play jazz. Usisa actually told me, which is, well, she's got like some jazz stuff, you can play like some brushes, a setting like, and so I was expiring. So the one gig that actually gave me a break, but it was African Keys, when I played with African Keys. Because the break, with African Keys, because then he called me, he didn't have a drama. He called Uyonela. Uyonela said, Siphiwe is there. He said, Siphiwe? He said, no, just try him, man. And there was a gig at Nikki's. He gave me the music. I went on, and there was a very difficult song with different time signatures. Mama what. So I went on and checked that song with Yonela. And he didn't know that I was checking. So he's creating rehearsal, because I wanted to be perfect in that gig. He's gonna hear this for the first time when he listens to it. I wanted to be, so I booked Yonela. I booked a room, and I went and rehearsed with Yonela, Africa's music. Then on Friday, when we were supposed to play the gig, I already knew the music, and he had not rehearsed with me. He just sent me the music. And then I really felt God was there, because I prayed about it. And he really, in Africa, when he really loves you, he really loves you. When he doesn't love you, he's very, very vocal about it. Especially when he's had a few.
Okay.
So yeah, but like Africa. Sorry.
No. I wasn't stopping you. I was just listening to the whole thing.
Because I was about to ask you, what's the relationship here?
It started then on that weekend. I remember, I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. 2017 or 2016.
No, Yonela.
It started on that week. No, Yonela.
Yeah.
Oh, Yonela, a relationship here to Akala Bengsaskolweni. It was, I think, 2004 or 2005.
That's why in Tuga.
No, 2006. 2006. So Yonela came to school. Remember, Yonela is blind. So Yonela came to school and he was listening. He was playing with somebody. Umamelu. I went onto the drums. And when I was playing with Yonela, he became excited. He was sweating. And then another drama. When another drama came in, and remember, but he noticed it was another drama. He started sitting still and he moved out of the piano. He looked for me. Who was playing now? They told him it was me. Then we had, that's when we started having a relationship. It was love at first sight.
No.
So Salwa no Yonela Suluile all throughout this, but the first time we met was at CJC. It was a workshop at Joy of Jazz, and he played and I played and we went off and we spoke, and from there I think there was the Joy of Jazz. He booked me for a gig. I went to his place and I was touched by the fact that he plays the piano and is blind. There was another guy, I used to go
bass player.
Yeah, Benkala. That's why, because I was like, wow, man. Little did I know, I'm a man. Little did I know, Uyonela bafethu uyabona bafethu. Hayi ngathi uyabona bafethu. Mangithi ngiyambuza ngaleso sikhathi I think he already had 2 children. Manje and mina he had 2 children. Ngabona ukuthi amfethu mawunabantwana kushuthi uyabona.
Gotcha.
And he had a house. He had a house Uyonela Esprit View, and he had a car Uyonela. Imoto kaYonela bekanepolo Uyonela. Mina or mnambeng neven, but a lot of people didn't have a car, but Uyonela had a car. Somebody bumped me.
Oh.
That's why he had to sell it. He had a car. So now I was stuck with him because when I bumped his car, now he began phoning njalo manje. Yeah, so manje ngiyacabanga impumphuthe chance. I mean kancane. Mfana ngaqala ukumthanda umjida mfethu ngam-enjoya mfethu wangifundisa izinto eziningi mfethu. Namanje nje uyabona nje ngitshela ngo-Africa wafonela uYonela. Namanje there's gigs that people actually call Yonela and say, hey man guys, what do you think? And then he recommends me. But he trusts me now, you know. So yeah, that's
let's talk about that concept that when I know Yonela too, because I mean I felt it was a special gesture, but maybe I need to understand it some more from you today. Maybe explain it first. What do you call it? Is it the blind concept or is it the dark?
Jazz in the dark.
Yeah, jazz in the dark.
Jazz in the dark. It's on there.
Yeah. Yes, jazz in the dark. So there was one time when, sometimes Balama status, I was really hard on Facebook. Balama status, I'm like, so something came to me, I was like, when we close our eyes, we listen with our hearts.
No.
Then I wrote that on Facebook. Every time now when we close our eyes, that's actually when. Sorry, just to off ramp. Somebody Umusa apply cheese. I was very close friends to him earlier on.
Yeah.
He told me, and then so I realized when you close our eyes, we listen. And Uyonela, he's got his eyes closed the whole time. So he's always listening with his eyes. Sometimes so yena akamboni ukuthi uyahlanya. Umamela ngempela amuzwe. And the funny thing is that you will realize when he's listening to Coltrane and them, it's not like he's listening to a record. It's the same as if they hear. Yeah. So he hears it. I think that's very powerful. So I thought I thought it would be nice if we had to experience what he's experiencing. Sivale natamehlo, and also even the audience, because they never actually close their eyes. You find good mawuvula. Sometimes when you're playing a song, you find ukuthi there's people that abavala amehlo, they actually now starting to get into what we are doing. Because we trance, the song is not always the same, especially when you're listening to it live. It's not always the same. So ngabona ukuthi yazi, if ever I could get people to be in a concert and actually close their eyes from the first note, because that first note is important. Actually, from us getting on stage and actually tuning is actually important, especially in theater or lama gigs that friends are like the gigs that we would do in houses like about the Orbit and all that like that. So my dream was to find people bavale amehlo wabo and listening in a festival. This thing I realized is really far-fetched. Because when we did a few of them, I realized abantu baya-irritate-eka ukuthi ababoni.
Yeah.
And that's also a lesson. Guti, you have to respect the one that actually doesn't see, because
They live
he
like
had to accept Guti, this. They are all their life. Remember, mind you, Uyonela is not partially blind. Is totally blind. So which means Guti no mulaita lights. You can see the red lights, but he cannot. So he's like fully living in the thing. Then I just really I thought ukuthi ngimenzele leyo concept leyo. So hambile ngalo concept leyo sayeSwazini sadlala ngoba nabantu abayifunayo bathi sayifuna leyo concept leyo. So mathi yenze eSwazini nga realize ukuthi abantu they really cooperated. But kwezinye indawo they don't cooperate. Abantu bafuna ukuphuza, they have to order, they're on a date. It's not like
they must see. They must see.
Yeah, they are. Bafuna ukubona ukudla ukuthi kunani. But that's also still a lesson. That's also still a lesson in trust, Sibali.
Yeah.
Trust ukudla okudlayo ungakuboni.
Ungakuboni
every time.
Mara kanjani ngoba ngisho awunayo technique yokuthi uzosika kanjani. How you build down? Yes. So man, we compare
yes.
No, maybe 20 years if I want maybe we must do it like where people just come and sit, and then you tell them, okay, right, you're about to come in, just okay,
Yeah, for 45 minutes. If for that 45 minutes, just have a discipline. Because we've got someone here who actually doesn't see for his whole life.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good one. I think I need to use that one. Which guys, concept ngicela ukuthi ibe lapha abantu banga order ama drinks khona bangayenzi lutho, so that there's no walking around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But kunzima mfethu abantu bazini imali zabo, omunye ufika athi hayi okay kulungile ahambe. Yabona, so when uyabona
uyamphazamisa uyamdictate.
So ngiyazi ukuthi khona abaqwephesha lapho ngaphandle abangakhona bathi Sibali, you can do this like that, you can I still wish, that's my dream, I still wish to do something like that for us and also
it's a beautiful concept.
Emotions behind it.
Yeah.
It's a very brilliant concept. I think just for even thinking about it, because it deserves
Thank you.
A lot of it, my brother. Because if you think about it, life is just about experiences, and you can sell an experience. Sometimes the reason why people don't appreciate it is because they're just the wrong market. So if taken to the right market, they'll be able to understand. And I mean, they would be coming there because they want to experience it. You sell it as a concept and you sell it everywhere just to say, guys, the reason why we are doing this thing is because, Uyonela is blind. This is, how he experiences music all the time. So for this event, we want to experience it the very same way he's experiencing it. So we must just, carry on. Don't give up on that concept. It's a very brilliant one. You just have to be working with people who understand. Yeah. I don't know, Leeroy, you want to jump in?
It's a concept where they put headphones and listen in. So it can work because you can have them have goggles that are really dark and they can just be there without the eyes line,
No. Most deaf. So
I think Yeah.
No.
So that can be it's the music.
Yeah, network nje kunesimo se network nje kancane. But
okay.
I think we did get that. Just to go over some questions, Leeroy sent us questions. I don't know why he sent us questions because he's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, with us, but I was like, Leeroy, he's sending them, to Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, but right, let me just go. It says, hey, how was his journey in the jazz genre? How did he establish the name in the scene? I don't know which should I keep going. What's been
as a spear?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. No, I mean, I didn't get the first question. How's that?
Yeah. How was his journey in the jazz genre? The journey.
Okay. Yeah, my journey has been a very pleasant one. Slightly, there's those little problems as of which I think sonke siyazazi zokunga uthola ukuthi sometimes, because jazz is a type of music which is also kind of like very serious. So especially in the drumming world, in the drumming world, you play jazz with an 18-inch, you get to a gig, there's a 22-inch. So like that already, it just defeats the purpose. But I see now a lot of bass players, they like that concept of a bass drum hard, even in the States, and then udlale jazz with the kit eningi kanje. So you find you get to a festival, they don't understand ukuthi jazz fanele ukuthi bekanjani. So kunalawo ma dynamics lawo. Ibhlungu futhi indaba ye jazz because ukhuzwa kaningi. Yabona? Ukhuzwa kaningi mawuloku ukhula, siyakhuzana namanje uyabona nakusasa nje mhlawumbe kusasa ngiyodlala noBaba Khosa, so uzofika uzothi iyarasi guitar mfethu, cabanga usekangakanani, uyakhuzwa awubi star laphayana, yabona? Awubi star. You can never be a star. Mawungachunanga awuchunanga uyatshelwa. It's a pleasant one because it's got nothing to do with mostly with clothes and appearances and all that stuff. You can have your own image the way you funanga corner. I think it's a pleasant one, though it's got izinto zayo ezincane, but it's really good. I mean, jazz, the journey it's been very nice, informative.
Yeah, I don't know if you still remember your question. You must, hit them.
No, the second one.
He's very true about that because I experienced that as well in Grahamstown. We went there, we got there. It's a 22-inch kick drum and Miss Rieza with a 18. So when I'm playing there, at the prof, it doesn't sound like a drum. Make it sound like a drum. So you have to tune.
So, but what do you guys then do about your technical rider? Because I know we fight for like these technical riders when we get there and it's not there. Backstage we like, hey, where's the stage guy? Yo, brother, what's up? What's happening here? We get the technical rider. Yeah, we do it all the time. I mean, I know a couple of gigs where we almost didn't play, until they went to go get the right thing. Yeah, we do it. So I want to know, do you guys then not, otherwise how are they gonna know? How are they gonna know next time that you must bring this thing? They want it.
No. I think iyasendwa i-tech rider ne. But because I think ama lentuzana, especially ku festival, companies bayatwafa, or maybe they think ukuthi kuyafana, konke kuyafana. So so they need good bafunde. But they need good bafunde ukuthi guys, this is a jazz gig. It's something really different. You can't bring to a jazz gig like a really proper gig, because we've had those problems. You find they bringing a stage piano on a jazz, a keyboard, and a piano, an actual piano, and they must know how to mic it. So you have to you don't fight. We never fight. We just say, as in, it's cool. Let's just make it work, because I don't know, man. I think we need to get advice from you, Lulu. Then how do you go about it? Do you say to the leader, because it's bass drum.
I think it goes with a leader that understands. It goes with a leader that understands, because I know when we go with Thandiswa, that happens. Like it's happened, and we've been, even with Banda, we fight over a base amp, and we say no. So this, I play Agiola. So where is it? Like no, they play Agiola. Yeah, and then they have to go get it. And I mean,
Matrama King.
Yeah. You can look at it like that, but it's Lugisindas. Because Kolamandi Akala. When I feel dramatic, when it's I know you want to be nice.
Yeah, I think
it's not. Yeah.
Lulu, that thing will show you. We always want to be nice, even when it's unnecessary. Yes, because you want to keep that nice face. Yes, Bulal. You come to an engineer, you want to be nice to him because we are
Yeah. But when are you teaching them? This is the question. They're not going to learn by themselves. You must think about it. For things to change, somebody must be hard. Because they are not going to just from nowhere decide no. Yes, in still part of the drum. Because you find maybe the problem was in the budget. So the promoter must now come back and say, hey, guys, why are you not playing? But no, this guy says this drum. Remember this drum that we told you that this guy wants, and you said you didn't have money. He says he's not playing now without the drum. Then now the promoter's gonna know next time to say, hey, this thing is.
I must get the real one.
Yeah, last time this guy almost didn't play. So next time when he sees that thing, he would rather call and say, guys, listen, man. I see you guys have written this drum, that has a small bass drum. We don't have this money for this drum. How can you play with a big one? Then at least you've taught them, to call you to tell you whatever you asked for, they don't have. Which is what's happening with our gigs. When we send a tech rider, sometimes we get a call. No, they don't have the Oak, or they don't have any Yamaha, whatever. It's like, okay, no, fine, it's fine. What do they have? They've got a DW. It's fine. We'll play DW. It's okay. Because they communicated. But
then
Ziasha.
Yeah. There's another. No, look, man. There's another industry within an industry, if I may say.
Yeah.
That is never talked about, and that is a reality. Khona lama gigs lawa esiwayenzayo gents elentuzaneni lawo ofanele ukuthi uzilethele idrum lakho, they within the business. Ufika uzilethele idrum lakho amanye in someone else's house. I wish in school they would not teach only about the festival situation and teach about that. Kancane angwafuni nami sengijwayele wona lawo magigi lawo yafika uwadlale, but teach about them ukuthi the discipline yalapho it's way different. When you get to school, it's seldom, even uma ungafika CJC, it's seldom ukuthi bazokufundisa ngama-brush, ukudlala ama-brush. Angeke bakufundisa ngama-brush. So ama-brush uzowabona Kelvin Rogers, angeke explainele next, or uzowabona ku YouTube, but we don't really teach the people the gigs that they might. So for example, I would advise my students, which is, you need to get your own drum kit. It's very important because the industry is cool. Yeah. It's important to drum lako. You need to get a carpet. You need to, if it's possible, a drummer needs to get a car. Because now but I've got those things in place. So I become less of a problem to be booked for 1,500 rand, which could help me pay for my child's school fees. So I'm saying this is just like a word of advice. There's that kind of like industry where you have to get your own drums. You need to go and get amaprashis. You need to go and get, and this is like more in the jazz, because you play. And then it's called jazz, but but it's okay.
Right. Do you know how to play pata there?
Yeah.
Why did you okay? I'm solo. You're getting a mad. Look at before now.
Let's play Guma, man. Loosen up. Let's play Guma. Why are you so serious, man? No. So guys,
people.
No, James, kuna leo industry, kuna leo nto leo efanele ukuthi at least if there's a chance that our students afundiswe nangayo. What I would like to do is to take abantu who are, every time I always tell whoever that I'm sharing with, be it a student or umuntu nje, that I always try and take them with me to a gig so that bangibone nami ukuthi nami ngiyathethiswa, babone ukuthi nami nginokuluza isikhathi. I'm not perfect, so that ungasabi nawe ukuthi like uze egigini uzodlala. But I saw a lot of people uthola ukuthi umuntu kune lineup khona mhlawumbe uSiphiwe khona uAfrica kunobani, so he feels ukuthi umncane agcine angasezi place based, thola ukuthi akasezi even on the day of the gig because he feels ukuthi he has to be perfect before adlala. Kanti even nami sibani izothi i54 mina ngisolo ngidlala i4 ngisolo ngidlala i4 thola ukuthi angiyizwa. It's normal, just just come and just come and just be yourself but you need to get your equipment yakho in place.
Okay.
And no lulu sabolekana equipment kakhulu. Sometimes because you know there's stuff like that. Get a friend that like manje I need to play a gig if I'm a hard rods. Ngifuna ukukhuluma no Lulu manje ukuthi can you please borrow me your hard rod so that I can come and
Lulu.
So khuluma offline. So
kunemali phakathi. I know.
Ngaba sengiyahlanga. Also Siphiwe, I want us to talk about finances a little bit, but before I want to ask you another question, but I want to first ngidlule kule COVID. You know, we've been hard hit with COVID. I mean, siyizwile. Phatha kanjani? Don't ngakhuluma ngeCovid wajuluka babuthi.
Ngajuluka bafethu manje. Sengifuse ngiyajuluka manje.
Yeah, especially ngoba une family futhi as well.
Hey, my family man, COVID is a serious story. Even worse.
Oh man, you know, the year COVID. Remember, so for me, it was a blessed. Even man, just but it was more blessed because through COVID, I had equal. It was about 30,000.
Yeah.
I had less scholotoless, but less scholotoless on through COVID.
How?
You know? Through COVID, there was gigs that I did as ngani, you know, because of this jazz thing. We are calling udlale pants, 3,000 rand, udlale pants, udlale 3,000 rand. So I did those gigs, and there was a funding ephumayo ye Pro Helvetia, and Africa sent me a lot of jazz musicians, even like from Cape Town, Basenda, and then I got that. Africa walked me through applying because I had not applied. I'm a drummer, you know. We don't apply, we just play, you pay us. So I had not applied. One Caesar Africa, I got that funding. That funding helped me because guys, you know, even just the first installment funding, that's when I was able to take Uncle Omale and just say, Capitec, please get off my back. So I'm saying COVID was a crisis, Maragini, it was a blessing in disguise because even Namanje guys, you can see our fundings now apply you can live through them, though you might like figure late, but you can live through. So I started living through that. So but angaz my pay funding much. So
you can't
save we can't.
Uvuleka i-country phela bese siyasebenza ngale ndlela esijwayele ngayo.
I-country fanele ngabe kudala ivulwe. I-country ifanele ngabe ivulwe nge-1 zaka-April.
Yeah, once ne?
Yeah, befanele ngabe ivulwe nge-1 zaka-April. It's sad guys because I don't have any other thing I'm doing on the side, which is what I was talking to Lulu about. Lulu man. Lento yakho lena I'm interested. That's Lulu relax and fit so must tell this guy to see because you know, as musicians, once you hard hit by the COVID, you don't know what else to do because as long as it's equipped,
Exactly.
you know, you're over 30, so they don't consider you anyway, even as poison. So we were just hard hit in that way. So I think to equip ourselves with some things on the side, like what Lulu's doing, like a network marketing. Is it network marketing?
Yeah,
right?
what it is, yeah.
Those things help. Those things they help a lot because then I started researching about them. Some of them very are scam guys. You need to be careful. But they're genuine. And if you can find someone like Ululu, celebrities, guys that I look up to, this network marketing. So so you know, something like that. So I'd like to say Naming join and you can join too.
Yeah.
So we have that
Look, I just want someone.
Yes, that can create finance for you. It doesn't have to be the only thing. Because if I pay we must store our treasures in the way need. Trade.
Yeah.
The trade thing.
Sure.
If I pay guys, so it's not a sin.
Sure.
You know, you need to so that you don't know where your luck is. It actually says that.
Yeah.
My wife was reading that to me just this week. So you have to invest, and more than investing, you have to use your hands.
Yeah.
Just go out there, totally store guys, take some zampani. You never know, you know. Mina throughout the COVID, I went down, home.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying for me it was a blessing because my mother has got a bookshop, like a mobile bookshop. So she's got like a shop, Esprit niece.
Yeah.
So sithengisa i-archer khona lapho sithengisa ilentuzana ama maski, you know, thengisa amaswidi, izinto ezincane. So mina bengicabanga ukuthi abantu kuzofika abantu abangaziyo. Sibala akufika abantu abakwaziyo lapha, you make money. Not even one person okwaziyo uzofika lapha ya. Makafikile uba encouraged naye. Yabona? So guys, we need to start
something,
go aside, and actually just look for things that you can do ezokenzela imali. Mina khona manje I'm open. Mawufuna ukuthi ngikusize ngokuthi sikuki sound, I'm there, you know. Mawufuna ukuthi ngikusize ngokuthi senze loku. I did also a course, aircon and refrigeration. So that's why it was a blessing. I did aircon and refrigeration, and the government was giving me a stipend. So I wasn't paying; they were giving me a stipend, and I go there. You understand? So basically, Mina, I was just withdrawing as a Christian. The COVID, I was withdrawing. That time, all the time, I was depositing.
Yeah.
So this, I was withdrawing. So it's like a testimony because I'm a tither. When you tithe, you will never suffer.
Yeah.
You give it to the house of the Lord. You don't give because you're a Christian. You give because it's a platform that is able to inikeza abanye abantu ukudla. So bona if abayenzi loo nto leyo akusindaba yakho. uNkulunkulu uyakubona wena and he blesses you.
So
yebo. And that's got nothing to do with Christianity.
You just preached. You just preached a heavy. I think
No. Isibongo sami gents, mele check Shiburi or Bushiri. Ubheka kahle lapho. Oh, Siphiwe Shiburi. Hayi ngiyabona, sorry. Bayathanda ukungwara. Yabona naye ileyo yenye le bangwara bathi uBushiri.
Yeah. Ayangibambile lapho bengakhoredi. Lalela, so who must determine, who according to you must then determine payment? So as a musician, mawufike gigini, or when somebody books you, who do you feel must determine that payment?
I feel ukuthi mina I should determine that payment. I should tell you how much I'm worth.
Yeah.
But of which it's a taboo la eMzansi manje. You get people, they give you the gig, and abakutshela nokuthi gig la bhatal or albhatal. It's like, hey Sipale, can you do a gig on Friday? Are you available? It's like you like,
oh
yeah, like, you know,
okay, yes.
Yeah. So I think umuntu mele determine payment because you know your value. You know your own value.
Okay. No. Ngiyabonga. Also, I don't know if you've got another one, Leeroy. From Lam, just gonna go.
Okay, yeah.
Huh?
It's in him determining his price. Akabona ukuthi kuba ne-conflict with the promoter and himself, noma unendlela that he negotiates his way through that.
With the artist or with the promoter?
So Leeroy. So Leeroy.
Either somebody, the artist or the promoter, whoever is paying.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of the time with me, it's the artist because I don't do my own projects. I'm a sideman. So I'll talk with the. So we never even get a chance. Like we have figured a rezalini uchele ubutana ukuthi mfana lana mfana ma 35. Like artist awukhulumanga nokhulumana uzobona imali mase seyingena ukuthi vela ma 35 or bazothi ufike late bakhathele 200, of which I had a big fight. Ngaloko with another artist that I played with. And we I think we had to call it. And then abanye, if they understand, because when you fight about money, you need to stand firm. And say like, because I know my worth value. I start playing long ago. Lulu knows. I start playing long ago. It's not good. I'm the best or I'm great, but I know my worth. I know which goodness in this meaning. You don't need to explain them. Like for instance, you don't need to explain which you need to be on time. I ask you, do I bring my drums? My cymbals. I actually go on and talk with the sound engineer. This is what I have. What do I bring and all of that? So you actually save yourself a lot of time. That's why we are called professionals even before you go to school to be called a professional. I remember Minanolulu la elokshini katoras besa ma professional a long time ago. Mina pala bangibize ngeprofessional ngamangala professionally.
Yeah. Ngoba stick back sakhe ngoba ama sticks ungaloku ucela imazani yonke into right. Ongeke uzithengele isine sakho, uzithengele ibag yakhe esine, uzithengele ama cymbals. Awuteli umuntu.
So awuhluphi.
As a nobody.
Awuhluphi.
Yeah, ulongazi.
So mina Lulu vele ilentuzana in a nutshell wena Leeroy indaba yokuzidetermine inentuzana ilkhuni kakhulu because you will get a fight because lo muntu njengoba akubiza ne angakutsheli ngeprice kushuthi khona afuna ukuyidonsa khona into eshaya amanzi. Why can't the message come as sure Spala, you're available for this date, we have a gig here and here and here, like yonke information onayo, and when and as it comes ungitshele Spala bathi ba change isikhathi so that things are ukuthi ngihambe now because the next thing sizolo I didn't pitch at the gig because you were not bongahambi nami yabona. So and uyothola ukuthi the next thing mina ngikwatile ukuthi ngibhadale because I didn't talk to you. Another guy that advised me was Africa Spala, when you do gigs, go to the person that has to pay you. Go to the person that has to pay you, and then if you with how much do you want? How much do you want for rehearsal? How much do you want for the gig? And how much do you want for pay them if it's a gig you're traveling and stuff like that? So in that way, I feel just to round off, I feel guys with Tina Melis is busy, but if you're wise, rather not for now as a sideman, rather not just humble yourself.
Just talk to the artist. The artist must go talk to the promoter. Because I remember I was fighting with someone about money. And they were saying, yeah, but what must I do? The promoter has not paid me. Don't tell me about the promoter. Don't tell me about the promoter because I don't know the promoter. Tell me about the promoter when you book me. When you book me, then tell me, hey, listen, man, here's the promoter's number. My rehearsals are Tuesday. Then I called the promoter, like, hey, promoter, man. Wednesday. So Saturday. I could have just handled my own business, So then it's a very funny business.
No, Lulu, but Lulu, sorry to jump in there. It goes without saying, Sorry. It goes without saying, whichever artist you totally deposit, wena awuyitholi deposit.
Yes.
Ufanele umele yena manje.
Yeah, actually balance. Deposit now. I'm not sure now you totally deposit. So why is always going to deposit? And then we all wait, and then we all wait for the balance. You know, if we must fix this industry. This industry is very broken. So
it's very broken. And this is the way to fix it, I think this is the way to fix it, because lento le izosala la.
Yeah.
No masihamba thina.
Bazosala bayicabanga nabo nje. Kodwa lento kade zikhulunywa lezi zinto lezi. Why zingakalungi? So also what I wanted to ask you, because I'm weary of time now. Again, kufanele ingane. No, it's fine. Now I must think out of all these valuable questions which one to skip, because they are all very valuable, but maybe answer them very quickly.
No, it's fine. We can keep going.
Okay. Do you think that our industry is doing enough to embrace new concepts? Or do you think that our industry is forcing everybody to sound the same, you know, and make the same kind of music?
Yeah. I think our industry, I just think people are makipa ama album ne ene maningi, and amanye you can see ukuthi are premature.
Okay.
For lack of a better word, I think that's the best word I can find. Are premature. We had, I feel, you know, there's albums, because you don't, when a Lulu Mamamel album, you don't listen to an album like a mere person, J. You really have to listen, because maybe you have to rehearse. So what happens to me now is that and I can't listen to music because it's congested. I think it's congested, and I feel the industry is giving people an opportunity to actually to bring in new concepts. There's fundings. There's fundings apuma. Can you just answer this? Answer them, ma'am. Answer the phone. The fundings apuma, you know, and bands, which you can try and just play with the Amatram kids I too, and give them I've got a concept like this, and then they fund it. So in that way, I can say yes, the industry is willing to actually pop out funding here and there.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're willing to pop up funds for the concept.
For more concepts, yeah.
Which is
I think Nati hello? Yes.
Yeah, which is great, man. I don't know if I cut you, but I was saying good to go if at least we're finding that is happening. But one experience that that gave you a very valuable lesson
on the same issue.
No, generally. I'm moving away from this topic, but I'm just asking, whether it be in music, whether it be in life, what's the one thing that has ever happened? From this experience.
Okay, I'm a question. No. You know, there's many things that have happened. The one thing that I'll just say one simple one, guys. Before we kick in, if our years in down, chachi phone
yeah.
So I was navigating debate.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson. Namanja when phone because I know.
Yeah.
Nganga phone, I was going to a gig. I kept calling the guy. Bengnalo igama mangiloku ubuza abantu. Ifoni ithe mayicisha. Ababuza igama eli-right. Oqala bangibathi manje sengifika kwabesithu ngikhohlwa igama bafethu. Remember now I'm in the middle of nowhere. I had to turn back home. And this guy never ever called me for his gig ever again, and he didn't believe me. Uguthi ifoni yacisha, and I was lost. So I learned a valuable lesson lapho ukuthi charge ifoni yakho, especially mawuzo lenzani. Just get a power bank.
Yeah.
And make sure even if uzoyehlatini, because you know it can be vice versa, ne? Kunenkinga endlini. Something that you could actually call a guy also next door because there's nothing you can do. But because abakuthole phone in. So it's broad. It's not just for us musicians, but for us musicians, it's important. Mauzo navigator, because we go to different places that we don't know.
Yeah.
And since I figure late, yeah.
I know.
So
we wanna nami say and ngiyabona manje ukuthi ngathi angichargeanga the phone, yes. And I say you go to the phone. Hey. Yeah, wanna listen, timing is spot on.
Let's in communication.
So,
yeah.
What is your dream for the industry?
My dream is, I've put it out there. I want the industry to be healed, and I think it's healing. In a way, I mean, I think I can see there's a good thing happening. Yes, just to have this platform, it's on the way. We're healing industry.
Yeah.
So I feel the industry needs to have institutions who are led by musicians. So you find there's a university, or maybe let's say there's a college or a department of music, but it's the leader department there is not a musician. So I understand in the 18-inch, the 22-inch, I understand exactly. I understand vocals our fan language. Maybe horns are melanguage as certain types of food before bed. So there's those that more institutions that can take musicians in, and not just take musicians in, let's teach them about the fundamental basics, like the basics, like pants. Don't teach only about festivals in the schools. Don't teach only to read. Yes, you need to teach to read. It's important to read. The best argument is ukufunda is one thing. Ukufunda is one thing, but teach the people on how to handle themselves. We need to have abantu abakhona emasontweni amadrum ayamosheka because they don't know how to take care of drums. Just a simple thing like that. That's kind of cool. You find they don't because they don't have a good technique. Skins are all the time. They want to play louder because of Aziza, but because they're not using the good technique. So I think we need more schooling. And schooling when Leeroy, you are teaching there. Not Uguti, there's a person in instrument who is teaching about that instrument. Yeah. That's my dream.
Okay.
Even our festivals, even just anything. I'm not saying Gucci Laba, those guys about festivals that don't have a background in music. Let's just come in because I think we don't understand the business. We don't understand some of the things. We can't write proposals as apply as. So I think let's just teach ourselves, and I wish we can equip ourselves so that we can be the ones that are running these universities and these institutions. That's my dream.
Yes, my last question is: if you were to go back in time, and was born yokhuluma nawe una 12, what advice would you give yourself?
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah, knowing what you know now.
Yazi mangabuyela esikhathini lapho ngina 12 khona, I would advise actually my parents to say lo mntana lo, he's got potential in music. Miseni in a music institution, so that because the time being na 12, now kate bangekho sure, mara maybe kate bangbona. Yabona. So I would have wished to go to maybe the time na 12 maybe nyenga university, maybe nyenga school, maybe I would have easily became a teacher, because I've got that heart. I want to teach whatever that I know, not just music, guys. When I talk about teaching, the problem, the problem is that when I talk about teaching, people think ukuthi masongena eclassini ngizokubheka mawungena emotweni, yabona, ukuthi how do you conduct yourself. So that already will tell me ukuthi what do I teach you, yabona.
Okay.
I'll watch ukuthi already when maybe let's say I would not have had a girlfriend at 13, because it's not necessary. I would have had more time with my instrument, yabona. So kunalezinto lezi ezinjalo, I wish ukuthi ngibe nale opportunity ukuthi ngibe more into this music thing earlier then, because ayikho into engiyenza esikolweni that I'm using now other than just socials, like isibali, I mean esikolweni basifundisa ngani ngentethe esibali, intethe esibali mina intethe gents mina is next guy, but I would have wished isibali intethe uyishanga amalebula amehlo, the fins. No mina sibali, I wish ngebe bengifunde ngesnare, ama-snares ngaphansi ukuthi why lama-snares lawo alaphaya,
hey, it's
So I think just even identifying what do they like, for still with music, but just watch them. And I wish that's what I wish when I was 12. I wish I would have had a chance to go into the music and actually understand the business thereof.
Yeah.
Back of things.
Siyabonga man bafowethu, siyabonga. Shiburi mfowethu isikhathi sakho. Sibalulekile. I had so much fun just listening to you talk about all of these things. And I mean, I think I went back a little bit now from as far as experience. It's like some things were relived, some things at least I went in. I also learned things that I didn't know about you. And thank you, Leeroy, also for, coming through and making sure that we do this thing.
You know how it is.
No, siyabonga Shiburi mfowethu. Oh, Pushiri.
No, Shiburi. I know chance to Shiburi.
She. I'm a brush. No, man. So thank you very much. I think before some, I'll just say one thing that you said when we were young. It's like, it says, hey, Vana, what? I think, can you remember when we were walking Dale? I can't remember,
yeah.
I think we were from your church or something, or we were somewhere and we were walking back. It's late. And I don't know, those lights, no matter about on it or something. And he says, Ish, Mfana, but what if siyaphupha njengoba sihamba kanje? What if
oh, you remember that?
What if siyaphupha ngithi siphiwe soyahlanya?
Hey, mfethu ingondo yami mfethu nami ngiyayisaba sometimes. That's why I spend time with myself, Spal. Hey. Ngiyayisaba ingondo yami. Ngavele ngicabanga, yazi nginokuyicabanga leyo nto leyo ukuthi yabo nje manje, what if siyaphupha manje?
Hey,
no, but you can pinch yourself.
Okay, I know. Thank you very much, man. It was a nice one.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I wish